16 minutes after the top of the hour, partisan conflict over President Obama's stimulus package getting worse now by the day. Is the honeymoon over? Now even some Dems say the plan has too much pork. In the pundit pit today, Bernard Whitman, former Clinton pollster, Andrea Tantaros, Republican political media consultant, and John Podhoretz, editor of Commentary magazine, and Julie Roginski, Democratic political media consultant. Good morning to all of you.
Morning.
Some Democrats, Bernard, are saying there's too much pork in the plan, like sod and other stuff?
Well, look, Moody's chief economist and former McCain advisor Mark Zandi said the plan was well designed. The plan is clearly going to impact the economy in four key ways. It's going to give targeted tax cuts to consumers and small businesses. It's going to aid the states. It's going to boost employment through public works spending. And it's going to provide direct income support to the poor and recently unemployed. And if you look at the schedule of spending, most of this money is going to hit the economy by next October. So I think we're actually going to see a real impact on the economy by as early as the summer.
Okay,
look.
Wait a minute, John. Yeah, because I looked at some of the spending, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there.
Obama won. The Democrats have big majorities in the House and Senate. What this is a Democratic spending package. That's fine. They won the election. The pretense that it has anything to do with stimulating the economy is increasingly shown to be hollow. There's going to be $75 or $80 billion in new education spending, which will take 3 years to roll out. A lot of it will be in Pell Grants, which go to universities, not directly into the economy.
Right, and one of the other
non-profit universities that are desperately trying to build up their endowments, which means that they will not spend the money, but will put it in their pockets. It is preposterous. Let them just come out of the closet and admit what they're doing is what they were elected to do, which is to enact Democratic legislation. But the notion that they can piggyback onto the recession with this is ludicrous.
Okay, but Andrea, wouldn't it be up to the Republicans then to put up a bigger fight if that is actually true?
Absolutely, they should. But none of the Republicans in office right now should vote for this bill. If they do, the Club for Growth should put a bullseye on their seat. Look, there is nothing stimulative about sod. There was nothing stimulative about birth control. This is exactly the Democrats putting their social agenda into one big bill. And it's the question of what's going to create long-term jobs. Some of these things are short-term work, building a bridge, building a road, but it's long-term jobs. And new computers at the State Department do not benefit
I've got to get Julie in here.
64% of this bill, 64%, according to the Congressional Budget Office, is going to stimulate the economy by the end of this year.
Well, the Congressional Budget Office is
you guys are kicking around at 10 and 15% of the bill when $275 billion is in targeted tax cuts.
Why don't they get rid of the controversial parts then?
Because the controversial parts are controversial to the Republicans who have a narrower and narrower scope as to what they're doing. The moderate Republicans are all gone. These are the people who've got to understand, yes, you're right, elections do indeed have consequences, and the era of providing...
The bill is going to pass.
Mississippi is supporting.
And we're going to go to break. So lively talking about the stimulus package. We decided to stay on topic for just a couple more minutes because one question I have, Andrea, is do the Republicans not want this on their back? Let's say that they really put up a fight and they don't pass the stimulus plan, and then the economy gets worse. Is that why some Republicans might give in to Obama right now?
Yeah, well, no politician wants to look like they're not doing anything on Capitol Hill. They don't want to hear it from their constituents. But I think the American people are finally awake. They're saying, look, we don't know what you did with our TARP money. Now you're spending our money on pork. They're paying attention. And I think now the Republican Party is pushing back because they're hearing it at home from their constituents. They don't want to waste taxpayer money.
The bill is going to pass. Republicans don't have the ability to block the passage of this bill. I mean, maybe technically if every single Republican in the Senate filibustered it, then it wouldn't pass. It's going to pass. The question is, what is it really? What is it honestly?
Well, let's take a look.
Honestly, it's a Democratic spending bill.
Let's take a look at what's in it.
Liberal spending bill, which is fine.
As opposed to Bush's socialist bailout, which we got in the last administration.
So, Bernard, let's look at the spending.
That's not the issue.
$1 billion on Amtrak, $2 billion on child care, $50 million on National Endowment for the Arts, $400 million on global warming research. I'm out of breath already. Julie, this is what some Republicans are saying. It's too much pork. This has nothing to do with stimulating the economy. Your response?
Actually, some of it does have a tremendous amount of stimulating the economy. Obama talked about greening of the economy as a stimulant, and the fact is that Amtrak spending, for example, will get people to work because if people have to get in their cars and drive on roads that are completely devoid of any infrastructure. At this point, people don't have the ability to do that. So, you do have a stimulating effect because the more you spend on public works, for example, the more people you put to work, shovels in the ground, and that's something that
the head of Obama's Council of Economic Advisors, Christina Romer, said that the best form of stimulus. The dollar that is spent on a certain type of tax cut will return $3 to the economy.
And the truth is,
why not keep the tax cuts? Why not keep the Bush tax cuts in place?
The truth is that the vast majority of money in this bill is going to go for either targeted tax cuts to consumers and small businesses or direct aid to the states to fund Medicare, police, pensions.
Because Medicare spending, Medicaid spending is really stimulative.
It
is essential to protect Americans, unless you want states to go through massive tax increases.
They're going to do it anyway.
You don't think extending the unemployment benefit is a stimulant?
No.
You don't? Because people will then go...
Extending the unemployment benefit is not...
It's not a stimulant?
Charles mentioned Medicare and Medicaid. Those are not stimulatives. That is not stimulative.
The crux of this
people have to be healthy to work.
The crux of this issue is that our credit markets our credit markets need to be de-thawed. This entire bill does nothing to do that. I mean, that's the bottom line. This bill is going to, I hate to say it, but it's going to go down as the biggest government boon in history, and it will be
That's got to be the final word. Great to see all of you in the pit today. Thanks so much.
Thank you.